Hi there. Let's try and understand a zodiac sign and its energy in under 10 minutes. So let's, of course, start with Aries. It is the first zodiac and it is the initiator energy. It's a very masculine energy. So let's have a look at some of the qualities of Aries. It is a cardinal fire sign. Okay, so cardinal energy is an initiation energy, it's a leader energy. It is very masculine in nature as it wants to move forward, it wants to start. Now, fire energy, it is that take action energy, and it is the way that we need to feel things in our body by moving it through. Okay, it is in order for a fire energy to connect to its intuition, it needs to take action. All right, and its thoughts and its emotions needs to be felt and worked through its entire body. Okay, Aries is an I am energy, and it represents things like the pioneer, the hero, that first step that we take, the initial spark of the fire, of an idea, of a movement forward. And it really is the beginning of everything. It is the zodiac new year, which we are currently in. Now, it is on the axis of balancing a desire for freedom, which is the Aries, and independence and self exploration and forming relationships with others. It's balancing those two things because we are Aries and Libra. And of course, Libra is that energy of others, of partnership, of relationships. And Aries is I am versus I balance. And Aries is I, and Libra is we. And so that is the conflict that when you are in Aries, that is the balance that you sit on. So, with an opposing sign in Libra, when we look at an opposing sign, that is generally the energy that you will struggle to embody because it is obviously at the other end for you. And so Aries energy will often struggle to embody the I balance energy of Libra. And this generally comes across in an Aries, it comes across in two different ways. So, Aries energy, when it feels threatened, it will act out in that primitive kind of Libra energy. And in a feminine energy person, that's often a lot of self sacrifice to the point of their own detriment. And in a masculine energy, it can be quite vindictive and jealous and very ego driven. So, both of those things being quite unstable and being able to find balance, either in giving too much or not giving enough or taking too much. Okay. So, Aries energy does have this magical ability to be able to set a goal and move toward it without a plan. And this often works out for them, particularly if you're dealing with an Aries that is an Aries energy that is a little more evolved than others. It can just have a goal in mind and it will be able to find its way to that goal. All right. Now, when we look at zodiacs, there are three evolutions of each of those. Okay. There is the primitive evolution, there is the evolving evolution, and then there is the adaptive in the middle. Okay. And so when we are looking at Aries, we can look at the first. The primitive energy, which is generally when we're quite young, or in your chart, if you have it in the first few degrees, that energy can be quite primitive in there. And so the first expression of Aries is the ram, and it is where the whole image of the Aries symbol comes from. That ram, and it is that primitive expression. It is the stubborn fighter energy. It's that me energy, and only being able to see things from that perspective. And it is that energy of like somebody who always reminds others how important they are, and they're usually quite loud, quite confident, or they come across that way. Okay, and they want everyone to want to be into what they're into. And, it's exactly, you need to be exactly into what I'm doing. And anyone who disagrees will face the fire of the Aries. Very quick tempered, very fast to action whenever an ego is challenged. Okay. Then we get the second interpretation of Aries, which is the shepherd. And this adaptive expression is the hermit mode. Okay. It's a bit of self isolation goes on because it's in that process that that Aries energy looks for courage and finds how to protect people with its confidence instead of only looking at itself. And it generally, that's when you start to see this Aries energy really quite happy to stand up for other people and to fight for things that they think are unfair. This is when that Aries will generally find that voice of being able to see that they have the confidence and they can use their ego to speak up for other people, not just themselves. And in particular, because this kind of adaptive energy generally comes out in that more kind of teenage space, the teenage space and in your 20s, where you really start standing up to things like bullying and oppression. And generally an Aries energy person will find something that they need to fight for, find something to use their voice for, and really find a way to uplift strength and confidence in other people because they are starting to learn that about themselves. And then we get into the third expression, which is the evolving expression. We never get to an evolved expression, or we haven't yet in the world that we live in, because we are always learning, obviously. And so this is the reborn sun, okay? This is what it's known as in astrology. And this is where inner confidence really does shine freely through. And generally, the Aries energy, when it reaches this stage of evolving expression, they really are in touch with the spiritual nature inside of them, that they can really hear their truest voice. And it is through that energy that we can all learn to hear our own truest voice, okay? And this is where you will really start seeing that Aries energy person use leadership and confidence, but in service of a social justice, in service of a group of people, in service or for other people who may not have the voice or the reach or the confidence to stand up. And people who are disenfranchised, people who are oppressed, people who an Aries energy can see need a little bit of their confidence, a little bit of their light, a little bit of their fire. This expression of Aries really stands up there, and it finds a place to use its ego for strength in order to serve a collective purpose. And once we start controlling ego, this is where we learn this is from this Aries energy. Once we start controlling our ego and not the other way around, it is actually a superpower, and we do all need to live with ego. We just can't let it run our lives, okay? And an evolved expression of Aries, this reborn sun energy, it's a deep inner knowing of their own I am energy, but it searches for a way to best use that gift and to best be able to help these collective people who don't have that. Like, it can really search them out and find them and bring these people together. And because they are so in touch with their intuition, when you're in this expression of an Aries energy, the superpower is being able to take action first and figure out why later. That intuitive I am knowledge in this evolving expression of Aries is really strong at knowing that it's on the right path when it's aligned. And it's something that is very magical about an Aries energy. And if you just want to have a look, Aries energy is part of our first house, which is run by Aries and Mars, of course, being the ruler of Aries. So our first house is that house of self, okay? It's the ascendant sign. It's the window that we look at the world through and that we want the world to look at us through. It's how we want to present ourselves. It's our outward appearance. It's our traits, our characteristics. It's our sense of expression. It's the beginning of things and our new endeavors. And it's our self-image and our consciousness and our leadership qualities and our temperament. And it is the physical body. Aries is the head energy, okay? And this is that first house when you're looking at a birth chart. So this is what that embodies, okay? And then we look at Mars, and Mars is the ruling energy of Aries, okay? And Mars is the fire. It's action, assertion, masculine energy. It's forward motion. It's goal orientated. It's got courage. It's where we find our impulses and our aggression. And Mars represents our force of will and our tendencies toward our aggression. And being that fire masculine, it represents how our libidos are expressed, our self-projection, our ambition, our desire, where we want competition in our lives, where our drive really leads us to. And it's our motivation. It shows us where we are comfortable in leadership and what triggers us into battle mode. It's how we initiate, and it's our raw instincts. And it's very powerful energy, and we're all in that right now in this new year for the zodiac. So That's Aries. If you know any, please leave me some comments about where you think they are on the expression. And if you are one, let me know on which evolved expression you're on. Hit me up if you want a birth chart reading, and I can make sense of all this for you. Stay weird. Hiya, welcome to Storytime, where I'm going to read a zodiac sign out of my children's book called The Cosmic Playground for everyone to enjoy. So have a seat and let's just have a little read while you look at this adorable picture. Aries is like the color red. It's super energetic and loves to race around like a speedy race car. Aries is always ready for an adventure. It likes to stand up for itself, be brave, and start new plans. Aries energy says, I am, and is powered by the planet Mars and the element of fire. So let's skip to the section about Mars. Mars is the energetic friend who loves to play and get things done. It's all about action and drive. In astrology, Mars shows how you take on challenges and go after what you want. It gives its energy to Aries. So that's my book, The Cosmic Playground. You can buy it on my website and start learning about the zodiac signs with your small human. Or not. Maybe you just like children's books. Stay weird.